Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get Better, a show about two longtime friends trying their best, growing up, and hopefully getting better. I'm Zach Johnson.
And I'm Sam Cherry.
Ooh, and we are back, and I have never been more hydrated in my entire life because I got the second dose of the microchip today, and I am intensely afraid of getting sick with those like symptoms that people have. Everyone should get, if you're listening to this, get the vaccine. Don't be like a dork.
Don't listen to what Zach's saying. Also, don't be a dork. Yeah.
Yeah, don't be a dork.
Be fucking normal and just get the vaccine.
Be normal. Don't, like if you're finding a news source off of, the ragingpatriot.org or whatever, then it's probably, not your best source of knowledge when it comes to doctor's notes and whatever.
Well, look, this is our mantra for the summer, right? And the summer going forward is like, don't be weird.
Yeah, just don't be weird.
Just get the vaccine.
Don't be weird. And a great way to not be weird is to just get the vaccine. Just do I
also got the vaccine this week.
I'm not being paid off by anybody. I'm not being paid off by one of the Georges or one of the Bills or one of the Jeffs. It's not happening. I am just doing it.
Who are the Georges?
As I don't know.
Soros.
Yeah. And the Bush, I guess. I don't know.
George W. Bush is paying you to give people back.
George W. And it's George Orwell. He's back from the dead, baby. He's back from the dead.
From 1984. Well, I'll tell you what.
Dude. I had a tweet of mine was reported. It's just like 1984.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny. All of these like weird reactionary documentaries that are coming out. At some point, you'll realize that actually the root cause of why they, spent $600,000 on making a documentary was like they got censored on Twitter. Like their tweets got flagged. Like it always, no matter what, there's always a segment where they're like, my Twitter account is like, oh, that's what this is about. Yeah, but I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, so Sam and I watched the My Pillow documentary. And
did we just do that for fun? We didn't do that for the show.
No, yeah, we didn't do it for the show. We just did. It was so important. Like the show honestly like fell in the background.
I didn't even think about it.
Of something that was so important, which was the My Pillow guy did a documentary about election fraud, and it was less of a documentary and more of like the most loose late night talk show where he just brought on
I hope he does it every week.
Anybody
so
like people from the road and just like anybody to say anything and to not produce any evidence, just like, and there's one part where he's just like showing numbers and he's just like, wow.
But it's the way he talks, like, look, I gotta tell you, we're gonna get up here and these numbers, they look, I mean, you look at this, folks. But it's like he's got that weird cocaine energy where he's just like never stops talking.
And it is like the most absolute he just plumb forgot that anybody can make an Excel spreadsheet. And like it's these numbers that it's the funniest thing in the world. If you haven't seen it, I think it's 2 hours long.
It's worth it. You could watch it twice instead of watching Justice League.
That's true. I listened to most of it. Like I just treated it like an Insano Beans podcast, and I just listened right to it. I would definitely, if he's on SoundCloud, on Parler Sound or whatever, I would totally listen to the My Pillow Guy podcast. 100%.
He has a podcast for sure.
He has to. Well, I think that probably I wouldn't imagine. Yeah. I wouldn't imagine a podcast of his would go too long without somebody in the front office being like, all right, wait a minute. This guy's breaking our cardinal rule, which is don't be weird. Like he's being weird. You're being weird.
That is not the cardinal rule of podcast. It should be. We should.
No.
That should be the cardinal rule of podcast, but it is not.
Yeah. I guess you're right. But he would definitely, say something and then he would, he's going to make his own. I mean, I don't know, like make your own website, I guess. Our acquaintance from college made one and it didn't seem that hard.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if we've told the audience the First Social after a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Completely shut down.
Completely shut down and gone.
And Tyler
there's only a couple of tweets that even acknowledge it.
But I think he missed those because he tweeted about it a bunch.
Yeah, truly. Yeah.
The only two that are left are retweets from other people.
Yeah,
mentioning
the one thing that I miss the most, and this is genuine.
All of
The
it?
one thing I miss the most about First Social is the friends I made along the way. You know,
and the enemies. I do also miss all the
I
enemies.
do,
I
I
made.
do, and like, you know, the most frustrating part was okay, so I, over the course of one evening, got banned, I think 4 times.
Yeah.
And it was all because I picked a fight with an admin. And that was, I didn't know it was happening. And it was like, it happened in a comment section and I didn't realize who he was. And then pretty soon thereafter, I was getting got consistently. But because the website is broken, I would just create another account and log back on. And then I would just use the same profile picture and everything.
Because you didn't have to verify the email or even have a real
didn't have to verify the email, didn't have to do anything like that.
Into the email field.
At a certain point, they started banning my username, so no one could log in as that. So I was Harry Tangle Jr., and I just went on as Harry Tangle the Third, Harry Tangle the Fourth, Harry Tangle the Fifth.
Right.
And then eventually, they got me, and
which was funny because you didn't get banned for anything other than this guy not liking you.
Yeah. And the last thing I said to him was I said something like, "Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere." And that was the last thing I ever said to him.
and probably the last post you ever made.
Probably the last post I ever made, because my other idea kind of fizzled out, where I was going to do what you did and be a conservative gun girl and try to, you know, I don't know, catfish him or something. I don't know. That would have been pretty wicked. Wicked in terms of not like it'd be cool, but very, I think I was getting too close. I needed to take a week off, and in the week I took off, it completely blipped off of the radar.
Also, it's pretty fucking weird. I mean, we got our free pass for all of quarantine.
Yeah,
being weird. But
that's
quarantine
true.
is over. It's almost the summer.
Yeah,
we gotta go. We gotta go back to being normal. This week,
that's right.
I went rock climbing.
Oh wow!
I got vaccinated.
Oh
I
hey!
went to the junkyard. And
Whoa!
I got some parts from some cars.
That is some classic Sam shit right there.
Summer Sam is fucking back, and he's
that's
normal
true.
as hell.
Yeah, I took ever since I took on the more responsibility of my management thing, ever since I became a part of the proletariat or the bourgeoisie.
And you left the proletariat,
yeah. Ever since I left the proletariat, it's like kind of like I can't be like, you know, clowning around on I can't be clowning on conservatives all the time. Because
now you're one.
Because now I am one. Yeah, that's true. I am really into tax cuts, specifically for me.
For me, me and only me.
Yeah, for me and my employees are just like, can we get $15 minimum wage? And I was like, listen, like that means that, you know, you'd be making a little less than me. I can't have that. All right.
I need you to be making a lot less than me.
A lot less than me. That's just the way it's going to have to go down. I am so sorry.
A rising tide sinks all boats. So no, I'm sorry. You actually can't.
Listen, if that happened, then it's going to be like, what am I? I'm going to start paying, you know, $5 for a banana, you know?
The thing is, if I give you enough money to live, you might take less of my shit. And I really need you to be right on the edge of poverty and eviction, because otherwise I have to treat you like a person.
Yeah, and then like I can't be scheduling you for like, you know, 48 hours a week because like you know, you're trying to make it
a week.
And what are you going to say?
What
are you going to say? I don't like doing this. Well, I guess you don't like having the job.
I can't give you either way too many hours followed by weeks of not enough hours.
Yes.
If you have a savings account. All right.
Exactly.
So, no, I'm sorry. You can't make any more money.
Yeah, so sorry about that. Ever since that happened, you know, I've definitely had to fall off my weird stuff. Definitely,
it's the summer being normal.
Yeah, I had to start listening to some more Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson and kind of like, you know, getting what they're into. I understand it more now, honestly.
I'm saying Joe Biden is president. Politics are over. I don't actually think that, but you know what I mean. Politics are over. We got in the time machine. We went back to the Obama administration, which obviously had no problems and everything was good.
Yeah, especially the post credits.
The post credits?
The post credits of the Obama. I would say if the Obama administration did have a post credits, it would be the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
The what? What?
Okay, that was a joke that I had pulled out of like comedians past. I pulled that from the ether and it was perfect.
The post-credit sequence for the Obama administration was Trump.
So
I don't understand.
Imagine the Obama administration as a movie.
Yes.
And you know how at the end of like those Marvel movies that you hate so much, there's like a big bad, you know, and like the big bad is revealed. Yeah. And you know how at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, that is when Obama dunked on Trump so hard that he was like, I'm going to be president.
Right.
Yeah. So that would be the post-credit sequence.
Fades. I see. So he does his joke, he drops the mic, and then it crossfades to Donald Trump just sitting there in a big chair. And he's like, I guess I'll have to do it myself, or whatever they say in that first one. I see now.
Yeah. I guess I'm going to have to do it myself.
So I hear you have a recommendation for me.
Yes, Recommendation Station. Welcome to Recommendation Station. This is something that was recommended to me by someone else, so I'm just kind of passing along the Recommendation Station. And this is a comic book. And I know that I don't really recommend comic books that much, but ever since I got my little app, my little Kindle guy, you can like sift through them. And also because I am a part of the bourgeoisie now, like, you know, I just get free stuff. And so Jeff Bezos was like, welcome. And he just gave me free Kindle.
Welcome to the Illuminati.
Welcome to the Illuminati. The bar is very low.
Turns out, coffee shop manager. That's all it takes.
They were like, you seem to be pretty plugged in with what the liberals are talking about. So like, we're going to need you to put a stop to that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they recruited you for COINTELPRO. That's what they did. You're a cop now. Cool. Awesome.
So it's a comic, and it's called Die by Kieron Gillen, and
Die
it
like
is
D-I-E.
Die like D-I-E, and it is a comic book that is about. I'm going to kind of go through the first a bit of the first issue because that's the one that I read. I read the first two issues, and I think that it's like the intro, I guess, to kind of like the world they're building. And it follows this group of friends that are playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons, a la Die. And each of them chooses their character. And then when they roll the dice, they disappear. And they disappear for 2 years. And they come back, and one of them is missing. And the rest of it, and like when people ask about what happened to them, they can't talk about it. And it's you, the audience, trying to unravel the mystery of what happened to them over the course of those 2 years. And it being slowly revealed that they were trapped in a Dungeons and Dragons game a la Jumanji. And it is really great. It is really compelling. The art style is incredible. And I just think that anyone that is like slightly adjacent to Dungeons and Dragons, which I would say is us, would really enjoy it just for like the character building, as well as like being able to like see how they present themselves as the characters and also as themselves, like trying to like escape back to the real world and things like that. But yeah, it is really great. It deals with growing up and like trauma, as well as just like depression, in a really, really mature way that is like not cartoony at all. It takes everything very seriously, which I think is like a welcome change from like how cartoonishly they could have presented it, with it being like, you know, a Dungeons and Dragons, like it's a bunch of kids that get trapped in a Dungeons and Dragons world. Like it could have been like, that sounds like a Disney Plus show, but rather it is like taken very seriously and has like very lasting impacts on all of them into their adulthood. So great recommendation station. I'm only 2 issues in, but so far 2 thumbs up, 1 for each issue.
Okay, I have a quest.
Oh no, Sam is gone, and I am just here talking to myself, which is a little embarrassing.
Wait.
With that in mind, I'm
going to...
Hey,
what's up? Can you hear me now?
Oh, hey, what's up? Hey, man.
I don't know why the button for my microphone got turned off. I was still here. It's Skype that just turned off. Okay, well, I don't know why that happened. Anyway, I have a question. I am seeing Die Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. I'm assuming those
Yes.
are trade paperbacks. Like, I can get, like, the whole...
yeah, yes. So those are the volumes. I think there's like somewhere in the neighborhood of like 60 or so issues. So about 20 in each of them.
Is the series over?
Yes,
Ooh,
it has concluded.
I love when a series is over and I can just get it
yeah.
all. Well, I'll go down to the comic shop and get... I really don't like individual comics, but I like, the trade paperbacks. Even though basically because I bought one comic book and thought this took me 5 minutes to read, didn't like that, and then I bought Watchmen and was like, this is much better. I prefer this just for like reading experience. So I might get,
hopefully
it's Volume 1.
Yeah, hopefully it's at the comic shop. It's like really popular. I've learned that a lot of people, and I think it's just kind of like. I've been looking more into just graphic novels as a as a way of storytelling that I think is like, I think graphic novels, like you have things like The Watchmen, which is kind of a deconstruction of the superhero genre, but it is in and of itself it is like a masterpiece in that it deconstructs that, but also is within its own right a very good story. It's not like The Boys, where it's just like poking fun or parodying like this genre, but rather it is a story all on its own. And I think there is a lot to be gained from like, graphic novels, things that I haven't really dipped that much time into, as like a medium with which to tell stories that you would need to tell it in that way rather than telling it in like an audio visual format or like a book. Like you need the format of the comic to tell it. And
it seems there's stuff that's like, I mean, I think we talked about this in the most recent, because I'm a little behind on the editing. The episode that just dropped today, where we talked about Justice League, I mentioned, and I've said this before, about like Joker, where it's like, Joker doesn't really make sense in most of the movies just because it's like, oh, so he's just like a guy. Whereas in a comic book, it's just because it's a different medium, because things just work differently. He can be just a guy and a really formidable because it's not as realistic of a, you know what I mean? Or like, when you see in comic book movies when they dress like their characters, like with the suits and stuff, it's like, well, this looks ridiculous. But in the comic, not really. Like, it doesn't really look that weird at all. And it's just some of the constructs of the medium. One more thing. I looked it up, and Image Comics, you can read the first issue of Die on their website.
Yeah. That's actually how I found it.
Tonight, and then I'll buy the trade paperback.
Yeah, it ends on the first issue ends on a cliffhanger, so I was just like, all right, that's okay, I'm here.
It looks like it's only $10, but that doesn't seem to make sense. It was like Die Volume 1, and it said it was $10, and that seems wrong. But
how does that seem wrong?
Shouldn't it cost more for the volume? Is a bunch of comics, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, wait. So if 20 comics cost $10, I mean, comic books don't cost 50 cents, do they?
No, I don't know.
They cost like I was gonna say they cost like $5. That's why I was surprised.
Oh yeah, I don't know what to tell
you. I don't know. They're all coming up $8. Go fucking figure.
Yeah.
All right, closing tab.
Yeah.
Minimize it.
But that is my recommendation.
Very cool.
Yeah, very cool recommendation station. Really excited to continue to read it. And there's another one that I heard about. I forgot. I forgot what it's called, but it's about, and that's not gonna be helpful at all.
Because I haven't read it.
Yeah, it's about a serial killer that like
Joker.
is.
You're thinking of Joker.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Joker. I'm thinking of the movie Joker. And I'm thinking like it's about how we live in a society
2019
and how we
get what we deserve.
We get what we fucking deserve. Yeah. So yeah, it might be Joker.
Hey, you know what? Good movie though. I did like that movie a lot. Hey, why don't people like Watchmen while I got you here?
It's upsetting.
It's a good movie.
You are entitled to your opinion.
That's fine. Well, and explain to me why I'm not entitled to my opinion of also liking the movie Watchmen, which I also do like.
So Watchmen is actually something that is a bit contentious. And the reason why it's contentious is, one, it is...
Oh, but don't tell me about the HBO show, because I haven't seen it at all.
Oh, no. But that's actually worse for a lot more reasons.
Okay, I don't want to know.
But yeah, so Watchmen is one of those things that is contentious because it looks perfect in the way that when you watch Watchmen, you can see the exact panels they are pulling influences from.
Yeah.
You can see, like, especially the sequence where, spoilers for Watchmen, you can see the sequence where Ozymandias has the hitman try to kill him. And that whole sequence is beat for beat, like right from the comic. And it is, it's very much like stylized perfectly. Visually, it's amazing. However, the characters, in my opinion, and in like kind of the general mass,
that's what I've heard. I mean, most people really hate the movie.
The characters don't feel right.
Okay.
Where, like, so say, for example, it finds its way in the way that Zack Snyder presents moments where, Ozymandias is actually a good character to think this through. So Ozymandias in the comic is kind of burdened by his own brilliance, and he has to do this. Like in the comics, he like creates a squid monster that kills all of New York or whatever. And he has to do it. It's like there is no other choice. I am burdened by this brilliance, and I'm the only one that can do it.
To achieve world peace or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and he kind of has this like sort of like Thanos mindset where it's like, I'm the only one with the strength to pull this off. And he is like deeply conflicted by it. And you can see that in the panels where he is like absolutely broken by his decision and his brilliance, but he has to do it. And in the movies, he's kind of seen as like a generic bad guy.
He's not in the movie very much.
Honestly. He's not in the movie very much. But like the times you see him, it's like, oh, he must be the villain because he's staged like one. And and so like there's like the moments like that where it doesn't necessarily, feel right. And it like characters like Night Owl, like he's supposed to be this like schlubby, out of shape guy that can only get his like sense of purpose from being a comic book character, being Night Owl. And Patrick Williams, I think, or Patrick, I don't know what his name is, but the actor that played him intentionally like wanted to put on like a bunch of weight because he was like, oh, Night Owl's fat in that movie or in the comics, and I want to kind of like be that character. And Zack Snyder was like, no, you got to hit the gym, you got to look like an action hero. And he's like, oh, and so like there's things where I think Zack Snyder is putting these. There's like several moments where it's like, this isn't cool. Like in the comics, this moment is not a cool thing that happened. This is like, these characters are broken. Like they cannot relate to humanity, let alone relate to each other. And it's showing how they have lost sight of themselves and they're slowly trying to pick back the pieces up. And so that's how
they never really can. I mean, they don't.
Yeah. And so that's how at the end of it, all except for Rorschach are the ones, and I'll get to that in actually a moment too. All the ones except for Rorschach, they're like, whenever the squid monster like kills everyone, they're kind of like, oof, tough call. And they're like,
right, but they all end up kind of accepting, like,
exactly,
but it happened already. I mean, that's the big turn at the end. That's so great. Is it's like, why would I mean, probably the best part of both the movie and the book are when he says, why would I have told you about it when if you had a chance to stop me, it happened 38 minutes ago, and it's just shit, like, which is great, which is a great moment.
Yeah. So it's like it's that, and it's like, oof. It's this moment where like they come to that conclusion, at least from my interpretation of it, it's because they have lost this sense of humanity, or they have like kind of moved away from the people where it's just like,
I get that.
Tough call. And
they're a lot more like the comedian than they really want to admit.
Yeah, exactly. Where like they really have, and like you can even see that with Dr. Manhattan, just like that sort of like why do you care? Like, why should I care? And why do you care? Like, sort of mentality. And yeah, and like, I think it's just the way the characters are. And I think the one that is the most egregious is actually Rorschach.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
I think that Rorschach in the movie is like a cool guy. You know, like he's seen as this kind of like he gets it and no one else does. And like he's away from all the bullshit. And I think you lose a lot of the complexities of Rorschach that are found in the comics, where Rorschach is an insane person. Like he is fully gone.
Yeah.
Like he's completely mentally unhinged. And
yeah, he's like a weird conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, and like
psycho.
and he's like there's this one panel that I really enjoy that people point to a lot where Rorschach steals beans and he's just like in Night Owl's house stealing beans.
No, it's it is Night Owl, you're right.
Yeah, he's like stealing beans. Yeah. And then there's another one where Silk Spectre is talking about how much he stinks. And like he is.
My favorite is when he jumps out of the fridge. I think that's a great panel.
Yeah,
of him just like just shooting out of the fridge.
Yeah, and so
just like my boy Joker also hanging out.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, do we live in a society? And so you can see the way that Zack Snyder, like, he frames Rorschach as cool, or as like the last line of defense. And like in the prison fight sequence, it's like, oh man, you're cool. And it is the most present in that moment where it's like it's because, you know, Watchmen is up to so much interpretation, but it feels like Rorschach, for all intents and purposes, wants to die. Like he is deeply unhappy.
Well, he can't be a superhero anymore. Superheroes are over, and that's like Night Owl. That's all he's got is being a superhero.
And so he's like this like intensely sad character who is a conspiracy theorist, and that's like the whole reason, like the through line of him writing to the last panel, I leave it entirely in your hands.
He writes to a weird. There's this right wing newspaper or magazine that gets cut out of the film, I think, and he leaves his journal to them.
Yeah, and it's like he writes it to them because he's like, he kind of has this mentality of like, you guys are like me.
Oh, he loves the paper. Yeah.
You guys see the truth that no one else is willing to admit. And it's like, you're not like, it's like the same way that we kind of deal with far right media today, which is like, it's not the truth. It's just you're afraid and you're masking it in this very strange, hyper nationalized way. And you're making it seem like we're about to lose everything, but that's not the truth. You are fear-mongering, and you're presenting it as the truth that no one else is willing to accept.
And that is pretty clear in the comics that, like, that this magazine is viewed negatively, like they are kind of a Steve Bannon figure of like, I believe they talk. You know, it's a lot of like immigrants are coming. Talk, if I remember right. And they're framed kind of throughout, and I think we see Rorschach read that paper once or twice. I don't know. He might be reading it in Moloch. Yeah, Moloch's apartment.
But I guess like, and it kind of all culminates in that one moment at the very end where like he has that very intense confrontation with Dr. Manhattan, where he like takes off his mask and he's like, do it. And like, he's like, you know what I'm going to do. And it's like in the comic, it's not a cool thing. Or at least from my interpretation of it, it's like, he's like, it's not like he is a man deeply depressed with a death wish who is hiding behind some sort of honor or code in order to make his life worth living. And in this moment, he has found an out, and like he is like, well, this is it. Like, this is my moment. This is when like all of my pretense of honor or all of my pretense of justice, it's all going to culminate in this, and I can finally die. And he like, so when he takes off his mask in the movie, it's like, oh, hell yeah. Like this like sort of like heroic moment of like, I'll never back down on my beliefs. I'll always say what I believe in. But in the comic, he's weeping. And it is like just small differences like that are things where it's like, we like we the audience that are like the audience that especially loves Watchmen. Mind you, I hadn't read Watchmen when I saw the movie the first time.
Yeah.
But like we the audience that has seen and has read Watchmen, seen it's like, that isn't really how that went down. Like the dialogue was right, but that's not really how that moment felt in the comics. Do
you think it might be a question of the medium? Because the way that I came to Watchmen is I watched the movie, I'd seen it several times, and heard all of that stuff where people were like, and heard that interpretation of events, and honestly, that's how I took it. Was like, oh yeah. I mean, Rorschach is insane, and like all this stuff, and then reading the comics, I didn't see any difference at all. I was like, because I already knew. Sort of like, oh yeah, Rorschach is a crazy person. When I read it in the comics, it's the same dialogue and it's the same shot. But the only difference is one, like we were talking about with Joker, where it's like just the character of Joker. Like sometimes it just doesn't work on TV. Is it possible that perhaps people are just like, because it's in slow motion and there's music, it's just inherently cool. Like there's not a way to not make it fucking cool. Like the prison break scene again is like shot for shot the same.
Yeah.
And you're saying in the comics it's not cool, but it's not like heroic, but in the movie it is heroic. Is it just the medium? Like you just can't. It's just gonna look cool.
Possible. But I think like this is like one of those things where Zack Snyder's kind of shown his hand a bit in terms of like not fully understanding characters and rather wanting for them to be badass. Like, doesn't really deal with the implications of Batman gunning down criminals.
I mean,
and knocking them out with a tire. Like
Batman and Superman, I agree. I mean, that's a whole different thing. I guess the difference is
I don't think so. I think that Watchmen very much paints his ideology of Batman and Superman because he wants Superman so badly to be Dr. Manhattan, to be this uncaring god. And I think that he wants Batman to be his interpretation of Rorschach, like an uncaring god versus like the voice of humanity who is on the edge, who will never back down from his virtues.
Yeah, okay.
So I think that like from seeing that, and even like
but the difference is those characters are that like Dr. Manhattan is an uncaring god. And Rorschach is a crazy person who will never back down from his values and is on some level righteous, even if he I think
is a
like crazy person.
It seems that Zach is falling into the very things that Alan Moore was trying to deconstruct. That Alan Moore was trying to be like, this is not heroic. This is not a moment that you should idolize. This is something that is very troubling. And I think that it's almost like Zack Snyder saw the pages, but was unable to correctly show like the feeling of them, where like he showed exactly what happened, but just the way that Alan Moore kind of like, and it's also way longer. But just like the way he wrote it in the thing, you just know that it's like, this is not heroic. This is like, Superman is not or like, if the Superman were real, he would be this way. If Batman were real, he would be this way. Right. They wouldn't be cool. They wouldn't be shot in this. And I think it's like a lot of people have, their qualms with his slow motion, whatever. But I think it's just
that's kind of what I mean about the medium.
I think it's just more like him staging them as action figures. Where it's like they exist, though, like Alan Moore wrote them solely to be a deconstruction of those very action figures, that they are not to be thrown around and put into these amazing set pieces, but rather they, like, while these moments did happen in the comics, the more important ones are the ones that are found in the in-between times, where you get to see their slowly degrading humanity, or, them not dealing with their like superherodom well. And I just think that like a lot of it's like you can see it in the moments that Zack Snyder chose to present, and he chose to present the moments that were cool rather than the ones where they are like broken characters. And the movie kind of like moves very quickly because it has to, because it's like, you know, not as long as the comics, but just like the moments he chose where it's like, oh yeah, that was really cool, but like the lead up to that makes that moment different. Like, yes, it did happen, and the feeling of it was different only because of what happened directly before and after, where it's like like he chose moments of crescendo rather than the rising and the falling action.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
But I mean, like, it's like that's it. Like, you know, the illustrator and like the people that worked on the art of Watchmen are like, this is exactly right. So, and like Alan Moore hasn't really said anything about it, but I just think people were just like the kind of like that moment where they were watching and go, this did happen,
right?
But it didn't feel like this,
right?
And yeah, so I think that's kind of like
that's why people. I mean, you answer my question. Why don't people like the movie Watchmen?
Yeah. Which I mean, and I think that like it, like, and you can see it. I always relate back to like the Batman and Superman thing, because like even in that very last moment of Batman and or Justice League, where it shows like yet another fucking nightmare sequence, where Joker's like, I'm gonna jack you off, Batman.
What a cool movie.
It ends with Superman being evil again, and it's like, didn't we just do this? And it's just like, it's like, Zach, you want Superman to be bad so hard.
He was like, inexplicably bad when he woke up, and
which is like such a horrible interpretation of that character. But you know what, man? Do it. Whatever. Like, you clearly want this to, you want to wield this evil Superman into existence so hard.
Yeah.
Fine. Like, do it. Like,
the Injustice game came out, and he's like, this is my moment.
Yeah, and he is like, man, if only Superman was like this. And then he like read a comic, and he was like, what a sissy. Like, he could punch through this guy.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he use his laser vision?
Why doesn't he just kill? If he has the power to hurt people, why doesn't he use that on them?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, fully doesn't get that like Superman is like, it is his restraint that makes him good, but it's right. It's like, oh man, like,
but they could fear you. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, why? He's like the kind of cat that's just like, yo, why the fuck doesn't Batman just kill the Joker?
I mean, that is a good question.
That is a good question. A question. And I will fucking kill you.
A question for maybe someone with higher education, someone with some accolades, like a doctor, specifically a script doctor.
Oh my, yes, we're back.
We are back, baby. So I am actually going to bring to you the newest edition, literally the newest edition to the Script Doctor of New Edition, to the Script Doctor family, because this show was the only show canceled after only having one season by NBC in the last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
baby.
There were other shows that were canceled by NBC, but this was the only one that fit our criteria. It was an NBC sitcom, only lasted one season, tragically short.
Yes.
It is called Connecting ... It's called Connecting, but there's an ellipsis in the title.
Oh, do I know this? I'm gonna try to guess what I think this is about.
Why don't you tell me what Connecting is about?
I'm gonna guess that Connecting. Okay, wait.
Yep, you're aware. Yeah.
Wait, I think I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm searching through my brain, and is this the show? I saw one commercial for it, and I said, I think I out loud
Can't wait to
what
a
horrendous idea.
Yeah.
Is this the show that took place all over a Zoom call?
Yep, it's the Zoom call show.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like, this was a moment when I saw a commercial for this, and I was like, hey, NBC, I'm actually going to send you a pair of glasses so you can read the room.
Guys, honestly, I was just excited because it's like, there's no way this is getting past one season because it's a quarantine-based show. I don't know what NBC, how long they thought quarantine was going on. But like, guys, if it goes on for 5 years, we're not going to have TV anymore. Like, it's Mad Max, baby.
Oh my gosh. Like, it is such a thing where like like people are doing jokes about quarantine, and it's like everyone watching it's like, yeah, I guess that did happen, but it's mostly sad. It's mostly sad.
Here's the thing, like, okay, so I work in...
there's someone with a cool ass name in this show. There's someone, his name is Preacher Lawson.
Preacher Lawson.
That is a cool name.
It's this thing where like, oh, fuck, I keep forgetting what I was gonna say. So you know that I work in video.
Yes.
And so over the last year, when quarantine started, I of course I know a lot of people who also work in film and television, and you know, I go on set and do set stuff, blah 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 blah. And so when the quarantine happened, you know, everyone kind of looked around and was like, "Oh shit, how are we gonna film stuff anymore? Like, how are we gonna be on set if we can't be around each other?" And everybody had to really pick and choose their projects. A lot of people lost work just because it was like, nah, we're just not going to shoot that, because the amount of work that we would really have to put forward to do this shoot and keep everyone safe, it's not worth it for this product. But we're not going to do it. What's wild to me is that my friends over at NBC were like, no, connecting's worth it. We'll make this show. Like, I understand they're on Zoom calls, so like probably it was made with some level of quarantine, but like you made this one? You made it? You were like all the extra work that you had
wrote
to
the
do
scripts down
to make this show? And you were like, it's worth it. We can't let this one go by. Everyone's going to be raving about connecting.
Oh my gosh. I'm
so
just
how
looking
do we
at
fix, I mean,
I don't know,
how do
man.
we get a second season for this Zoom show?
Here's the thing. I'm looking at this, and I'm going to give the audience a brief rundown.
Imagine every meeting you're in. It's that.
Holy shit. Okay, guys. I'm going to give you guys a rundown of the episode titles.
Oh my gosh. Wait, I couldn't even find a Wikipedia. Can you send this to me in the robot?
Yeah. Hold on. I just typed connecting into the Google machine.
I could not find a Wikipedia article on it. I watched the trailer and it's very bad.
Oh yeah, I was going to watch the trailer, but how do I send things in the robot? There we go. Yeah, so I'm just going to read the titles of some episodes here. All right, guys. We got pilot, obviously. And then we have day
Someone
30.
saw the pilot and they bought that show.
Yeah. No, dude, I feel that this show was rushed. This show,
oh my god,
it was thrown into production. Just like, yeah, get it. Like, we need content, and people are gonna want to be like,
it aired between October
we need
and
some
November.
GD levity in this pandemic. So let's start making fun of some shit. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this show, like,
okay, yeah, this
so this show came out in October 8th through November 16th, allegedly, but it only had 4 episodes before it was canceled.
It was sent to Peacock.
Oh, okay, whatever.
I know.
All right, so we got 2.26 million on the second episode. That is not bad. So we got October 8th, and then we got November 16th. So it's between those things. So the pandemic started in March? So that's a couple of months. You got a couple of months to write out some
funny Zoom jokes.
Some fresh material. And when I say fresh material, I mean you've waited this long, and so a lot of YouTubers and early content creators are already throwing out the jokes where I'm going to go ahead and pitch a few jokes that were definitely in the room that they were like, yeah, fuck it, anything. A bad connection joke.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not wearing pants joke.
There is in the trailer. There is a frozen person.
I haven't showered in a week. There's a friend who's kind of
Can you please read the description for episode 4, 5, and 6?
Okay,
just 4, 5, and 6. This is 3 different episodes.
I'm going to read.
Are you seeing that? The group tries to stay positive despite an ongoing pandemic. Episode 5. The group struggles with emotions as the pandemic continues. Episode 6. The group continues to forge on despite tensions and emotions as the pandemic continues. What's the show about?
Okay, all right.
What's the show?
Okay, so I promise the audience, I promise them.
Improv?
The episode titles are
Oh, fuck.
Pilot, Day 30, Day 78, Day 82, Day 90, Day 135, Day 226, and Day 229.
I did the math, and day 229 would land them around October when the show aired.
Yeah. So perfect timing.
So
Excellent
starting
math.
in March, day 229.
Yeah,
would be
good job, crew. So here's I want to watch this for the sole purpose that I want some cat in day 30, like around that time, to say shit that we were saying, like to say the shit that people were saying, but you would say to your friend groups, but you would never say out loud, like to anyone you didn't trust, which was like,
it's just
how
the
much
flu. Are they gonna
yeah,
say
like how much longer can this shit go on? I mean, really, like,
Just the
I mean,
flu, right?
like, yeah, or it's just like, yeah, like everyone's freaking out for no reason, just like the worst takes of all time that we all had at the beginning of and if you do not kid yourself. Like,
but we have it recorded on this show.
Every single person had the worst takes of all time because we had no we had no thing in our brain to like comprehend what was about to happen to us. Yeah. So if day 30 does not have anything like that, it is a bad show. I want them to really deal with the struggles.
There's no premise to the show. Literally, episode 1 is we are introduced to a group of friends who struggle to adjust to life during the COVID pandemic.
Which is the same as the group trying to stay positive despite the ongoing pandemic. The group struggles with emotions despite the pandemic. The team continues to forge on despite the tensions and emotions as the pandemic continues.
Is the premise, I mean, I understand the premise of the show is there's a pandemic and we're on Zoom. But again, I'm telling you, it takes a lot more work to make. I have filmed shows set during the pandemic where everyone's on Zoom. It's incredibly fucking complicated. Like,
yeah.
It is, and I'm sure they did a good job on this show. Like, I'm sure they did a good job of like it feeling natural and, well, not feeling natural, but you know what I'm saying. But like, to do that is an incredible amount of time and effort for this.
Yeah.
We gotta fix this show. We gotta get it to season 2. I really don't think we can take apart the initial premise. I think that's pretty set in stone.
Well, one thing I think is kind of funny, and this is like something that is like definitely very networky, which is we are assuming that these characters throughout the course of the day 30 through day 229 like didn't see each other, you know.
Well, like now day 229, the team reveals in their happiness. Revels. The team revels in their happiness after Ben comes to see Annie.
Oh, good. That's good.
Here's my pitch. Episode 9, day 3,540.
Yeah, it's like we gotta.
That's my pitch,
dude. Yeah, I think that's really the only way that you can go forward with it is like
because otherwise it's just a regular show again. It's just like and here are these friends and they can see each other and it's just a show, but we've set up no connection.
Okay, I got it. And I'm actually gonna steal an idea, so don't tell NBC I'm stealing that too. It's a bit of plagiarism.
They're in the D&D game.
Yeah. No, there is a movie came out in 2018 called Searching. It's the movie starring John Cho, and it's the movie where the guy is looking for his daughter who disappeared, and it all takes place over like on someone's laptop.
Yeah.
Like the entire movie is him. Like you see him searching on things with Facebook. You see him like going on Zoom call or not Zoom calls. You see him like going on FaceTime. See him like looking for people, and the entire movie takes place as one screen. And the way they pull it off is actually it's incredible how just like the tension is still there the whole time, and it's like it's like super duper incredible just in the way that they pulled it off. And as you said, like it's incredibly complicated. So one thing, and I'm going to kind of spoil this movie a bit. One thing about Searching that is really interesting is that there is a background plot where if you look at it, so he's like searching for things, and as he's searching for things, and as he's like going from Facebook to like different articles and da 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 da, if you look, you can see that there is a subplot happening where a unidentified object lands on Earth, and like it's like all in the margins, or it's like all in like tiny news sources, where there is a subplot where an alien invasion is happening. But it is all happening through tiny news articles.
But
just
it never
like
affects the
no. It never affects things. It's just like a fun joke. But like at one point they go to a news, like it's like a news TV show, and on the bottom scroller it's like talking about the aliens, like that they're like invading or whatever, and it's on the bottom ticker. So it all happens within the time span of the movie. That there's like a secret alien invasion plot line, and it is it's really funny, and it's not affected for anything. It would have been funny if it was, but I think that like the director was just doing like a little joke. Like he was kind of like, oh, this will just be kind of silly. So
you're suggesting that. You're saying why don't we
I'm saying
graphics.
No, I'm saying we yeah.
Well, you could just do it in post. You could just add some graphics.
We could do that, or we could do a season 2 where that does like it goes back like season 2. Ben and Annie are together.
Sure,
they've moved in.
Yeah,
whatever.
It's her quarantine husband.
Yeah. It's day 365. They're quarantined together. It's like cutesy and whatever, and they're doing the same shtick. But slowly over the course of the season, like I don't have to say alien invasion, but like something bigger is happening.
Like the 2014 horror film Unfriended that is all takes place over a Skype call.
Yeah, dude, that movie is ass anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. What about Unfriended 2 Dark Web?
That movie is even more ass. Actually, no. The ending to Unfriended is so egregiously bad that I like shake my fist towards it.
All right, fair enough.
But
regardless,
what a stupid movie.
I'm saying we have to lay the groundwork because the show got canceled, unfortunately. Cut short in its prime. I think we need to lay the groundwork in season 1 because I don't think people are gonna. Because here's the thing.
No, I'm saying I'm saying we move into it very quickly. Like we like. It is starting, and like episode 1 like is setting the groundwork, and then like episode 2 is like and like by episode 3, like episode 2 or 3, it's explicit. Like it is happening, and it is all from like the things that is in episode 1 and 2. There are like tiny little things in the background.
Yeah,
and then I don't know, Terminators, whatever. What what does NBC own?
Yeah, some shit. They got something.
They have Jennifer's Body, or not Jennifer's Body. They have
the day that Earth
Deb Jennifer
still,
slept here.
probably.
I don't know. Yeah, they have something. It's whatever that is that's happening.
Okay, so here's the moment.
They have heroes. They have the show
Heroes. Kill the cheerleader, kill the world or something. Okay, no, here's the moment, right? So they're in the webcams and they're talking or whatever. And it does a close up on one of the characters' faces, and they're like, "Oh fuck, things are really bad."
Yeah, they say, it's a Peacock show, so they say, "Oh fucking shit,"
like on NBC. And then
yeah.
we use some VFX, right? So it's just their monitor, and then you see the camera pan around their face, and it becomes like a one camera show, right? So it's been all through the webcam, and you just see, and they're like, "Oh no," or maybe they're like talking or whatever. They're like, "What are we? Oh, we got to get out of here. Shit's going down." Blah blah, like they say on NBC, and then the camera turns. And then the rest of the episode,
shit's going down.
The rest of the episode, not the rest of the show, but the rest of episode 1, right? Or the rest of the episode where it turns, right? Is all one shot, like Birdman. You know what I'm saying? So we go from the worst way to do. I mean, I'm not saying one shot is the best way to do a movie, but like the worst way to do a movie is what they did in season 1, which is all over Zoom. So then we like prestige, and it's like, also, quick break. People just say prestige television about fucking anything nowadays, right? I heard someone call WandaVision prestige television. I was like, it doesn't just mean shows you like. Not everything is prestige television.
Okay, all right. Set phasers to stun, Sam. I like WandaVision.
I also like WandaVision. It's just not prestige television. It's just regular television.
What is prestige television?
Like The Sopranos.
What's the difference?
Okay, let's not get into this. A lot. what's the difference between WandaVision and The Sopranos? Anyway,
name me 4 things and I'll be happy. And
Yeah,
then,
okay.
I bet you can't.
So anyway, yeah. So then the whole rest of the episode, the Turn episode, right, is all one shot, and it's one of our characters. Maybe they lose internet. Oh, that's it. Shit
Okay,
hits
that's
the fan.
good.
Everyone else
Oh
is
yeah,
black
yeah.
because they lose internet.
Because
and then it's just
there's
their
like there's a
face.
blackout. There's like some sort of like, you know, whatever's happening is causing a blackout.
And so then it's just their face, and they're like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And as they're freaking out,
Oh my
the camera
gosh,
turns,
what
and then
if-
they're running,
okay,
they're getting
okay.
their bags, and it's one shot the rest of the episode. And because we don't know
Dude.
what happened to their friends,
Okay, how about this? Because like I have an idea where it'd be really the transition would be really cool
we
because
always
it would
fuck around
like
and make a good show.
the transition would be really cool where like it's not just the internet goes out because like, you know, it like zooms in on their face or whatever.
Yeah.
But the power goes out.
Yeah.
And so the power goes out on their like computer because there's like a power surge, and you just see their face in the reflection of the screen.
Oh,
and then that's how we pan. That's how we like.
That's how we start.
like we spin the camera around and then to show them in the real world because like.
And presumably,
like
not,
because like the internet's gone, the computers are gone, something has happened that's taken all of this away from them.
It's fucking
So
children
that
of men.
that is a good transition to where it's like we're not in Kansas anymore. Like we're not the connecting now is like the way we need to connect in an apocalypse. Like
The
we
way
need
we're
to
connecting is
we need to
getting
get to we need to
water.
get together. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
we need to get the band together. Like that is the way. Like the connecting takes on a whole new meaning. It is like not about, you know, the Zoom calls, but rather it is like we need to get together. We need to connect like physically with our friends in order to like survive this thing.
And it becomes like a Children of Men thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. So I have 2 questions. I have a question and a suggestion. All right.
Okay.
1, what made it happen? And 2, my suggestion.
We'll figure that out in post.
We don't tell them for like the characters don't know.
Oh yeah.
So like the power goes out, you don't know why, they don't know why, audience doesn't know why, and the whole first episode where they're following them around is like shit's hitting the fan, and it's like Cloverfield, but
Yeah.
no one know, like we do not give an inkling of like what it is. It's just like no, there's a disaster happening, and you got to get your go bag and your bottled water and get the fuck out of town.
Yeah.
And then eventually maybe we you go to a regular one camera show, and it's not The Walking Dead because like a good show, but like
Oh
imagine
man, that would actually be really, really cool. Like as you said, like the one shot, because it starts with that one thing, like the black screen, and then it like spins around, and then the rest of it's like them walking into different rooms, like grabbing their bags,
Right.
and then like them going out into the streets, and like there's like hundreds of people in the streets, like all like being like, what's going on? And then you hear like an explosion off screen, and it kind of like goes and sees the explosion, and then it's like everyone running, and then they're all running together, and it all takes place as like one shot. The entire episode is one shot. As
now
like,
wait, I've run into a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, episode 2 and 3 aired on the same day. Fucking
yeah,
shit. No wonder that episode 3 got 0.97
yeah, they
million
blew
views.
all their ideas.
Well, no, I'm just saying they got 2.26 million on episode 2, and then 0.97 on episode 3. Yeah, you played them the same fucking day. Anyway, so the problem we're running into is it is our friends NBC, right? This is not prestige television on like
exactly.
HBO.
So yeah, they're not
There's
gonna
gonna be a
like
commercial
exactly. They're not gonna do that thing where they're gonna go fucking hell, fucking shit.
No. My whole point is.
Well, no. Here's the thing.
It's
No. It's on Peacock now.
Oh, you're right. Okay, then never mind. Yeah, it's all one shot for the whole that whole episode is one shot, and then episode.
And honestly, NBC, you can afford it. You can afford it.
It'd be
like
cool.
you, like
Make
you,
a
you,
cool
like you,
show.
like you can take a 30-minute block with no ads. All right, let's not kid ourselves. Okay, you guys had heroes.
You got that Office money. You got that Parks and Rec money.
Me and Sam, we saw the slap. All right,
we saw the slap, but it wasn't good.
You got money. Okay, you clearly have money to just blow.
Well,
all right?
You blew it on season 1 of this show. You can obviously blow it on a good episode of season 2.
Yeah. Just one. Just like 1 30 minutes is all we're asking for. Yeah, like
I think it has to be episode 1 though, because I really don't think anyone will sit through.
Yeah,
Because
You're right.
my initial idea was like, okay,
and I think
really
I think you're totally right. Where it's like it sets the stage where it's like connecting the name. It changed meanings.
That's
like it is.
cool.
Yeah.
That's
So
very
I
good.
think that it's like it lets the audience know like immediately. It's like this is a whole new season of television. Like
Well, and again, maybe because this is good, right? It's a survival show, season 2, right? Season 3, we got a little more stability. We're not going to do the Walking Dead thing where like we have to find a new place. Like no, where they set up, they get some sort of civilization or whatever.
What if it's like
But
connecting with like an alien life form?
I'm thinking, okay, yes, and actually not yes, and, but that is a good idea. I was thinking it starts unraveling some kind of mystery. Maybe it is an alien life form, but there's one of our characters, they get mobbed up with the US government and they're starting to realize, hey, there's some shit going on, and they're connecting the dots. They're figuring out.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So you've got one character who's trying to connect. It's Ben, and he's trying to connect with Annie, right? And then you've got other character who, again, there's no plot in these fucking shows, so I don't know what their names are. But other character, they end up in a refugee camp. They become really good friends with one of the soldiers, and they're like, I have a medical degree, because one of the characters is a nurse. That's true. So the nurse then gets in with the medvac, like the MASH unit or whatever, and then she starts to find out, she's connecting the dots. There's something going on with the military.
Oh
you got a couple other characters. They find each other, but they're on the other side of town, or they live in a different. I don't know. They're doing some other shit, right? And then they start unraveling, or then they actually like meet with the aliens or have some sort of contact, and so they're connecting with the alien, and they realize they're actually not bad, and the real villains were us all along, probably. This is actually starting to suck a little bit. Maybe we don't be as cliche there.
It's. I mean, it still is like it still is. But I feel like the idea. It's like it's not even like. I think the glow up from season 1 to 2 is going to give us a little bit of leeway. Yeah. I think like people will be like, holy shit. Like it doesn't even matter all that much if season 2. It's a little
well trodden, but yeah.
It doesn't even matter all that much if season 2 is like wholly original or whatever, but just like, I think people will be like riding off the high of that first episode for so long.
So you've got these
You have got to watch this show like because I feel like people always talk all the time, like whenever there's like you're watching a show and then like the themes basically change between season 1 and 2 or 2 and 3. Like I feel like they talk about like the shows like that just find their way into the lexicon.
Yeah.
So
because
like,
it's a cool thing to do.
Exactly. So it's like if we're constantly changing the definition of connecting, people. It's like it's gonna. I'll tell you this. It's an NBC show still. Gotta pay respect to our bosses. But we have to make it kind of on the nose. Like it's kind of like
it is.
It's like the first episode ends with them like finding each other, and then like smash cut to like whatever the title card is, like connecting, and then the audience will be like, logo. "Oh, I get it."
Also, I think of course we keep the format of the days, but we do.
Oh my gosh!
It's day. But now it's not, it's like it's like you said, a totally different meaning. Now day, what if fucking start over? Episode 1 of season 2 is called Day 1. And you're like, what? Are they flashing back? No, it's a different Day 1. You thought that was Day 30? You have no fucking clue what Day 30 is going to be. Because actually, the pandemic is completely dwarfed.
Yeah, because the pandemic has nothing to do with it.
It's like it's no longer a relevant dating. Like now, we're actually talking about day 1 of when the fucking kaijus came out of the ground. Like it doesn't. We're not dating by the pandemic anymore. Like this is day 1, but of a completely different thing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh!
And
then like season 3 will do the same format, like day 1. And then people be like, holy shit, like what is going to happen now? Yeah, it's great. I'm there for that.
I'm good. I'm good to call it. I'm good for this.
I'm here for that. I think that is
Script Doctor's back. We're getting back to normal. I love it.
Yeah, that is as good as it's gonna get. Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, I cannot wait. Yeah. So NBC, thank you so much. But yeah, you know what? Even for this idea, even if you don't make it, you're gonna have to bill us for this one.
Yeah.
Like that's some good shit.
Or just don't sue us for the comic book that's coming out about it.
That's true. Yeah. That's
I've been working on a lot of Jennifer Sleptier stuff, just kind of in my free time.
Yeah. So that's the deal. All right. Well, anyway, that's our show. Thank you all so much for coming to Get Better. You can find more of our stuff on Instagram at Get Better Podcast. It's at Get_Better_podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, where you can find our larger episodes as well as smaller clips. And you can find that by searching Get Better Podcast on YouTube. If you're listening just on Spotify, thank you so much. Please continue to do so. There's not really a metric where you can like and subscribe, or you can give us a review, but
follow?
Follow, maybe? That's a good idea. Follow us on Spotify. And if you are listening to us on iTunes, a review would be super helpful to get us recognized and to get us out there. Engagement. That's whatever those influencers are talking about in their books. I bet they're talking about that quite a lot.
That's what the McElroy book says. It just says how to make a podcast. Engagement.
Probably. But yeah, and also you can reach us at meetthefockers2 fockedup@gmail.com. That is meetthefockers2 and that's all I have. So see you guys next week.
All right.
See you, bye forever.